you say, with your coach, and then open up for some questions.
Yeah, obviously feels good. A lot because of the respect we have for Kansas State. That's a really, really good basketball team, obviously without a phenomenal player, and we understand that. The short turnaround, I thought our kids prepared really, really well. It was different for us, so kind of unique circumstances. We haven't had that much this year. But, yeah, I thought we were excited to play. I thought we were ready to play. I thought in the quick turnaround of a game plan, I thought, was pretty good. And to the kids' credit, they executed it. But that's a hard team to guard. They're elite at shooting the basketball. They got some open looks that I know they're probably thinking they should have made, and certainly have quite a bit throughout the year. But really just proud of our kids. I thought the first quarter was kind of the back and forth, probably feel each other out a little bit, see what we got going, and then I thought from that point on we were pretty in control, to be honest. I mean, JJ in her little runs is special when she gets going. Jordan Harrison controlled the whole game at the point, I thought, was really, really good. Kaya rebounding the ball was phenomenal. Woodley's minutes were fantastic. Jordan Thomas played some huge minutes. So I think we had a lot of people involved, and that's what we've been talking about so much this year is we're so much better when we can get 4 or 5 people involved, whether that means score, rebound, assist. But we got our assist to 16, which is not a huge number, but for us, that's a huge number. And so I thought we shared it a little bit more, made some adjustments throughout the game that the kids responded to. So it was just a complete effort for us against a really, really quality opponent, and maybe it gives us a little confidence as we move forward and try to finish this thing off.
Coach, so it seemed like they were handling the press fairly well at the start of the game, and then as it went on, you guys really had your way with them. Is there something that you guys changed? Do you talk about adjustments, or is that just the course of the game, you guys settling in?
Well, we changed it a little bit going into the game, and so it may have just taken us a quick second to kind of figure out what we were actually trying to do in it. Just because they shoot it so well and they will score in a hurry, so we had to kind of tweak a few things with it for this one. But outside of that, no, I think we just settled in and let it work a little bit. I know we were plus in the points off turnovers, which is huge for us, and points in the paint, which is fantastic, and our bench outscored theirs, which is another huge thing for us if we can get production like that off the bench.
Jordan Thomas was a really big down low tonight. Did you see that going into the game, that could be a potential mismatch that you had in your favor? Yeah,
we had some things we wanted to go to if we could, depending on matchups. Even tried tiers a little bit there in that first half. But yeah, Jordan, has had a really solid freshman year. Obviously, freshmen are sometimes up and down a little bit, but there are moments, whether it's matchups, games, that she's been really good. So yeah, I was really, really proud of Jordan Thomas tonight. She was really good for us.
Kansas State averages a little better than 40% from 3 on the year. You guys held them to just 25. What was it about the way you guys guarded the perimeter that worked so well?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously there's some pressure maybe, and we're trying to speed them up, so they're just not as comfortable taking threes. Honestly, we gave up too many open ones for my liking. They just didn't make us pay, and so we stuck with kind of switching defenses a little longer maybe than I was anticipating with the looks that they were getting, but they weren't converting them, so then we just kind of tried to keep them off balance as much as we can.
Coach, you've obviously, since coming to West Virginia, you've beaten top 25 teams before, but this is the first one of maybe the higher echelon kind of caliber. Can you just kind of take me through, it didn't happen this time, and then tonight it finally happens. What's that feeling like? Maybe like trying to climb that mountain, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah, well, I think it's hard. It's hard to climb it. It's hard when you get toward the top to stay there. I think that's one of the hardest things to do in sport. It's really hard, but then when you get to that peak, it's so hard, and everybody's coming for you. And so, yeah, it feels good. I don't know. I'm not really going to overreact to it, I don't think, a ton. There's still plenty of basketball to play. These are ones, too. It's a really good win for it. Yes, it is, and I understand. And they're 7 in the net and ranked, what were they today, 12 or something, I think, maybe, when it came out. So, yeah, that's a really good win. So I don't want to diminish it, but I'm not just going to go do my jumping jacks or whatever later and just celebrate too crazy. But yeah, it feels good. We needed it, even just from confidence and them understanding, that they do have the ability to play with anybody in the country. We were even talking Texas, in the run that they're on right now, and we thought they might even be, number 1 in the country, and we were in a 1-possession game with the ball, late. So it's just reassuring to us knowing that we're doing the right stuff. We've got a great program. We have phenomenal kids in it, a great culture, and typically that wins out in the long run. And if it takes you, I wouldn't say long because you've only been here a year plus, I think it's pretty special. But the building's becoming electric. It's fun to play in here. We have a great home court advantage at the Coliseum, and so we just want to keep on trucking and do the best we can to represent everybody.
How do you now flip that? Because you guys have had ups and downs and struggles on the road. You picked up big wins in the building. So how do you take the momentum of this win and carry it on? Maybe not get too high or too low and respond, because now you have another top 10 matchup in TCU.
Yeah, we do. I mean, that's just not who we are, so that's why I don't worry about. I mean, this team's pretty consistent. I feel like I'm a pretty consistent guy where we're not over the top crazy when we do win, not too low if we do lose, but finding ways to get better. And I'll get back to that too. But like, they got to celebrate a little bit in the locker room, and we don't have a ton of those. Like, we expect to win a lot of games, and not that we didn't expect to win this one, but that's a quality team. So we got to like kind of at least jump around a little bit and have some fun in a locker room, which we haven't got to do a ton this year. But yeah, no, we got to figure out how to be a little bit better on the road, but confidence to beat quality teams. Obviously, you take that from this game. TCU will provide a completely different challenge. Fantastic team with just some of the, They got some quality players, let me just put it that way, and they're very well coached. So anyway, not gonna worry about that one. We actually will give them a couple days off so they can rest. This is the last time of the year that we get to do that, because we finish with 3 games in I think like 6 or 7 days to finish starting on Sunday.
One of the things that it looked like you were able to adjust well is getting JJ in the midcourt, like at the foul lane, dumping the ball to her there and letting her attack from there. I mean, obviously that's not a post, but is that a little bit different, something that you saw than you thought you could do against K-State?
Yeah, well, they gave us a different look, and so we had to make an adjustment from it. That they had that. We had seen it. Hadn't seen it a ton lately from them, but I guess in the back of my mind, I thought that they could go to it at some point, and so we needed a plan of attack. And so out of the timeout, we kind of tweaked what we do a little bit, and yeah.
Mark, outside of – is that on the fly?
Yeah. Well, we had the timeout. We actually had the clock stoppage early in the fourth quarter, and the timing issue, and so then that kind of allowed us to tweak it there.
Outside of Tiers, 7 players took up like most of the minutes tonight. Is that the sweet spot going forward? 7 personnel?
I don't know. Each game will probably dictate that. I mean, yeah, when you get later in the year, you can probably. And I didn't care because we have so many days before we play again tonight. I was gonna exhaust those guys a little bit if we needed to, so tried to get them a little stretch, and still probably could have a little bit in the second half, or burned a few more timeouts, but I just thought we had so much momentum. I didn't want to call too many timeouts to kill the momentum that we had, and they were competing, and I think we're well conditioned, and because of the way we play, we got a little tired there the last 3 minutes offensively, but other than that, I thought we were pretty competitive all night.
And kind of in the first quarter, when the media timeout doesn't come,
yeah, that was crazy.
How much does that impact your rotations?
Well, a little bit, because we had kids sitting at the table for quite some time, and I think K-State did, but it was like 1:05, right, in the first quarter. I think 1:05 left was the media timeout. So, yeah, it can mess with you a little bit for sure. We were tired at that point, but I don't think either coach wanted to just burn a timeout to get to it, thinking that something was going to happen. But, yeah, they were letting us play too, so we couldn't get a whistle to get in there, and then your media timeout, and then a minute later you're right back into another one that you don't necessarily need now at that juncture, so it does mess up the flow a little.
Coach, I know it's kind of probably difficult to ask you to speak for the committee, but do you think the committee will see this and say, okay, yeah, West Virginia won at home, but beat them without Lee? I mean, do you think that'll play any kind of part in?
Yeah, I honestly have no way. I don't know. Yeah, no idea. I think it's a quality win against a quality team. It's a quad 1 win. All the stuff we've been talking about. I mean, players get hurt. It's part of our game. There's nothing we can do about that. No one feels sorry for us or anybody else. You just got to play what's in front of you. So no, we're just continuing to build our resume. That's what I want them to see. This should help that. But yeah, I think when players are out, the committee knows that you played against Kansas State without Ayoka Lee, but I think they'll still understand this was a quality quad 1 win.
And then obviously, so this keeps you in the hunt. Baylor, TCU, Oklahoma State, Utah. Is there K-State? Is there a separator, a divider with those 6 teams that are all basically tied at the top now?
Well, I think they're all really, really good teams that are going to hopefully have some NCAA tournament runs in them. And, it's just so difficult right now because, and we've talked about this, the schedule. You don't play everybody twice, so who do you play? When do you play? I mean, the good news, I guess, for us a little bit is that we still have TCU, Utah, who are in that mix of the 6 that you just named. So if we want to, sneak in, can we win a conference championship? Yes, technically, I guess. We're going to need some help at this point. But if not, can you get a top 4 seed? Can you get the double bye, those types of things. So, again, I mean, NCAA tournament seeding, like there's still so much in front of us. So, we're just going to keep play the next one and then regroup and go play the next and see if we can do something really special here late.
Multiple times tonight you were hyping up the crowd and getting them into it. What does it mean when you're on national television to have a crowd like that and, for the country to see Morgantown supporting women's basketball?
Yeah, I know, it was huge. I mean, you get in the game, and I forget that we're on. Like, I'm not doing it because it's national TV. I kind of forget. You get lost in the game, is what I like to say to our players. But yeah, it's becoming electric in there. And when it's these types of games, it's loud, it's intimidating, maybe to the opponents. Our kids feed off of it, so I have to help them every once in a while, the crowd, but they do respond the right way every time, and so that's what's been really fun. And we've had several people now tell us that the environment here feels different, the energy is different. And so, yeah, thankful for everybody that came. Obviously, I mean, weird day, right, at 2 on President's Day, and kids were supposed to be in school, and then there was late, cancellation. So I think we ended up with a decent number. But, yeah, it felt good, and when we were at our best and scoring and defending, we certainly felt the energy.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, everybody.